Spain, for example, they win Euros. If you see Spain, the way they play, you see everyone know his rules. This is why they win. It's not coincidence. They beat everybody. You understand? They deserve. You have to. They work as a team. And the big teams, the teams who win more titles and Champions League, it's the team that plays, they know their role. My opinion.
You sacrifice the
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. All right. Yo, had Ronaldo, hate him or love him, but that's what he said a couple months ago. I believe this was last year, following Spain's success in the Euro, the past Euros, right? Spain won, and they were by far the better team, the better side. So that's what happened. Now back to this video right here. I'd like to say something. I've been weighing on saying this for some time now. I was very mad at Netherlands during the World Cup, especially their last match against Morocco. How they played, they opted their approach to the game, and how they've been playing for all the years, for how we know them. In short, they gave Morocco a lot of credit. You know what I'm saying? They overestimated Morocco to the point where it worked against them, and when they went to penalties, they eventually lost. So this is me saying that Netherlands shouldn't have forsaken what we know them for, shouldn't forsake their identity just to win a football match. And when you look back to Spain's two last World Cup, the way Spain played isn't far from the way they're playing right now. It just didn't happen for them. Um, they when they were eliminated by Morocco, I believe they passed around 1,600 passes. So like it's still the same ideology, just just a little bit changes, but they didn't lose their identity at all. So I like the way Spain plays across the women's soccer. I mean, the women's football team and and the men's football team. They don't lose their identity just to win a football match. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to get at on this one. There are seven things that I like to talk about. Number one is Spain develops players around an established idea of football. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Spain, when it comes to like let's say generational talents like Lamine Yamal, the Cristiano Ronaldo, the Messi's, some nations ought to build a system around the players, but in Spain, the players to fit into the system that already exists in the academies, in the youth national teams, in the national teams. So like they don't change just because they happen to have a generational talent. Uh, for that matter. Now, I like to point out that Lamine Yamal only scored one goal, and some will say that they still would have won if it were another good player in that position because it's the philosophy around the national team. It's not like a one man system. Now, some of the things that Spain focuses on is comfort, receiving the ball under pressure, short passing combination, position awareness, creating numerical advantages around the ball. We will see this as we go on. Controlling matches to possession, like that's what I'm saying. Like even the last World Cup that they didn't perform to what we hold them to the standard that we hold them, they still possess the ball. That, as I said earlier, they had 1,600 passes. So immediate pressing after losing possession, players understanding several position and roles. That gives Spain continuity. A young player progressing from under 17 to under 19, under 21, and the senior side is not learning completely new football language at every step. That's what I'm saying. A player that's playing for Barcelona right now will have success playing for PSG because uh, the PSG coach basically uses the same system. That's why Vitinha and his friend they struggle when they go to play for Portugal because they are used to the system. You know what I'm saying? To the system that Luis Enrique employs. That's what I'm saying. It's easy for a player that has played for any national team, any Spain national team will have an ease paying for Barcelona or PSG. That's why I believe Ferran Torres will, if PSG ended up signing him, he will have a easy time adapting to the system that Luis Enrique employs. Now that was one of the 7 reasons. Now let's go. Number two, Spain prioritize understanding the game, not merely executing instruction. I'd like to point out England. Most of England players aren't technically gifted. You know what I'm saying? Most of them, but they are players that when you give them instruction to do so and so and so, they 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 follow the instructions to the T. Now, Spain development places heavy emphasis on where to position yourself before receiving the ball. Rodri, Pedri, Busquets, they all have this. They position themselves in a way that when they receive the ball, they have already scanned 10, 15 times prior to receiving the ball. Same to Xavi, same to Iniesta, same to Isco. These are players that, by structure, they aren't the biggest, they aren't the strongest, but they know how to position themselves before receiving the ball. They know, you know what I'm saying? They have the eyes are always looking. Where is my teammate? Where are my teammates? Where are the opposition standing before the ball? As they say, recognizing pressure, choosing the correct passing angle, creating and exploiting space, knowing when to keep possession and when to accelerate, solving problems independently. So these are the things that Spain prioritizes prior. I mean, rather than just following instructions uh, that the coaches give them, but they want players to be able to do all this stuff before any instructions. Okay. Number three, Spanish players can enter adult football earlier through B teams. La Masia is arguably the best academy in the world, if not the second to highest, I believe. So most of these players are years ahead when it comes to their mind. They already know all this stuff. That's why it's easy for La Masia to produce a player that can play in any A team across Europe, having just played in a youth system in La Masia or the Madrid one, or the Atletico, or the Athletic. So you know what I'm saying. So these players are highly intelligent before even they step into the A team. So by the time they step into the A team, they're already well matured. They know how to play ball, not just to follow instruction that the coaches give them. That's why Barcelona has been able to produce a lot of young talent. I believe they've won the past four young player of the year. Even they nowadays they even produce excellent centre backs that can play the ball. Kubasi, Martin. When you go to the midfield, we have Fermin Lopez, Ala Fermin, Dani Olmo. All these players are players that are highly gifted when it comes to understanding the game at a very young age. In Spain, clubs such as Barcelona, Real Madrid, Real Sociedad, Athletic Club can place their reserve or B teams inside senior football pyramid. Those sides can compete against experienced other professionals. So, Lamine Yamal came into the scene around 16, I believe. And another thing about Spain and Spain teams and Spain youth system is that they aren't afraid of putting young players to play. You know what I'm saying? That's how they are ahead of a lot of nations when it comes to that. Okay, the fourth reason is that young players receive more senior league minutes in Spain. I think that's self-explanatory. Now, if you end up playing in these competitions at a very young age, chances are when you play in a big tournament like a World Cup, you aren't scared. Kubasi looks like a 25-year-old centre back. He's only 19. He's very calm at the ball compared to uh, England defenders. Let's say I'm a Manchester United fan. There's no shame in saying that. There was the time when Maguire would receive the ball, we would just hope for him to shoot the ball. Not comfortable with the ball, can't make runs in the third end of the opposition. They can't play ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? They are scared of the ball. Most of these players, um, they are scared of the ball. They are scared of the opportunity to pass the ball. I believe the brother passed around 120 passes. So these people aren't scared of the opportunity. No opportunity is big for them because they're used and they're brought into the senior league minutes at a very young age. Yamal now he looks like a seasoned winger, but he's only 19. You know what I'm saying? Pedri look like a 30-year-old. I don't think he's on. I think he's 23 or below. That's what I'm trying to say. That most of these players look seasoned while they're just young players. And the fifth reason is Spain is more comfortable selecting technically gifted players regardless of size. I said this earlier. Uh, Spain players, most of them aren't the best uh, when it comes to physical attributes. They aren't the fastest, they aren't the strongest. Most of them, they're just technically gifted. That they can play ball. Uh, Once we keep watching the video, I will even show you how the goalkeepers train. They're very comfortable with the ball. Historically, English football placed greater emphasis on strength, pace, directness, tackling, winning physical contents, early physical maturity. Now, I will say a player like Juan Bissaka will struggle to be called for the national team in Spain. While in England, he's viewed as a lockdown defender. You know what I'm saying? Spain isn't scared of leaving big names at home because they have a philosophy and they will live and die by that philosophy. It's like 2016 Warriors. They will live and die by the three. They ain't scared. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, that's something that I believe other nations should adopt. All right, number six. Spain produces player for a system. England has often built systems around individuals. I think I already say this. I'm gonna waste time on this. Now you see, this is Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia is not getting numbers in a lot of national teams, but in Spain they prioritize players that can fit into the system that already exists rather than individuality. This is Lamine Yamal, this is Gavi, Dani Olmo, and all these are Al Masia products. So Barcelona has played a great role in Spain's success, but I would say also Spain has played a great role in Barcelona's uh, success. Seven, Spain's women pathway demonstrate that the philosophy is transferable. So the thing was the success in men's football. They opted it in women's football, and they ended up having enormous success. Spain approach is no longer successful only in men's football. The women's senior team won 23 World Cup and the first two editions of the UEFA Women's Nations League. Spain also won the 2022 FIFA Under 20 Women's World Cup. The women's team displays many of the same traits associated with Spanish men's football. Excuse me. Now, I will say that the system is already there. You just have to find players, improve players, recruit players that can fit into the system. Individuality is interfering in Spain's football philosophy. And that's why they were able to employ the same philosophy to the women's side. And it's fair to say that they succeeded with flying colors. That was the 7 reasons as to why I think
As you can see here, without possession,
Spain has been decades ahead of a lot of national teams. Now, this is a Brazil legend who won a World Cup explaining how Spain play out of possession. Now, let us listen to him. I won't comment a lot on this one.
Spain did so great. Once they lost, immediately, they just counter-pressed the other team and the opponents, which they found very difficult to progress. Even though they had a chance if they switch on the game, but the Spanish, they took a little bit of risk in this situation, but they were very confident in their game, put pressure immediately when they lost the ball. Once again, for me, the sense of urgency to get the ball back, to control it, something outstanding for them. As you can see now, Spain in possession, very patient with their games, not rush at all to go forward. Remember, they keep the wide players, from one side to another, just to stretch the fullbacks of the opponents to open a channel in the middle for the attacking players to attack the space. Then again, from one side to another until at this moment they got Yamal and one of the midfielders just find a spot behind of the center midfield and the defender. A bit unlucky because I felt that could be some more players in the box, to attack this ball. They miss a great opportunity to score.
Okay, I'm gonna make this a 2-part series because I think the video is getting long. Now, if you're watching this, this is the end of the first part, and I will upload the second part. If you're watching this, the second part is already up. Now, the second part starts with Thierry explaining how they scored the second goal against France. I honestly don't want to add anything to this. It's very self-explanatory. Okay, let me do something here real quick. Okay, now let us listen to